It's just that we are really living in a time where nobody cares, man. You got what I'm saying? It's like they just don't care. They don't know the importance of it. They don't care about the importance of it. For me, it's angering. I get emotional about it. I'm angry about it. Like you don't understand how angry about it I am. Would you want to talk? Okay, I got a whole thought process. I want to do a brown chair conversation. I can have some concrete thoughts, and you know what I'm saying, if that's what you want me to do, you know what I'm saying, just talk to the camera. But why I'm gonna talk to the camera when I can just talk to you? You know what I'm saying? Look, the people are not viewing Juneteenth as important. You know what I'm saying? They just don't. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not understanding that it marks the freedom that is delayed. That's what it was. It was just freedom delayed. June 19th, 1865. You know what I'm saying? It was basically, it's a commemoration. You know what I'm saying? Because at that time, a general by the name of Gordon Granger, he arrived in, I'm gonna say, Galveston, Texas. And basically he announced that enslaved people were legally free. But what's crazy, it was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. You got what I'm saying? So you can't even imagine. I know I can't. You can't imagine being enslaved at all. Got what I'm saying? Most people, they just can't. They can't imagine the horrors of enslavement, because all these horrible things that were done, people were unalived over and over. They were raped over and over. They were raping children. They were raping little girls, little boys, 2 years old, 3 years old, 6 months old, 9 months old. They was raping them, unaliving them type. Like, you don't understand the horror. I can't even imagine it. I just can't. That's why I always tell people, it's like they're not even thinking about the resilience of our people. They're not thinking about the difficult situations they were in, and how difficult it was, and the resilience that they had just to survive. Now, a lot of people thinking about the Emancipation Proclamation, they thinking about Juneteenth as emancipation, but it really is not. It wasn't freedom, it was just emancipation, because the Emancipation Proclamation only freed the enslaved people who were outside of Lincoln's territory. But the people who were inside of his territory, then guess what? He wanted them to be enslaved. He was okay with enslavement. A lot of times people are thinking that Lincoln wanted African people to be free, when he didn't. He was an enslaver too. I'm just saying, man, it's just crazy. So that's why I do support celebrating, educating, and just enlightening yourself about Juneteenth. Because if you don't, how you gonna build a community? A lot of people who have been enslaved, guess what? They share a lot of the same traditions. And even now they're on an uneven road to liberation. People thinking that people say, oh, I'm free. I'm in America. I'm free. And they don't even understand that they are hated. That's why I keep telling these black people, like, look, man, you were labeled black for a specific reason, and you are hated. And you can never forget it. And it seems as if, as time is moving on, people want you to forget that you hate it when you can see it. You can see that you hate it. but they want you to forget it. Oh no, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just angering for me. You know, this is really, really angering for me. So people really need to educate themselves, and they need to reflect, you know, and they need to just think about Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care if it's a cookout, any type of activism, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they angry about it. You know what I'm saying? Especially the people who don't look like you, who always say, oh yeah, you just want to be a victim. They'll say that you want to be a victim while simultaneously ignoring that you were victimized. How is that even possible? You understand what I'm saying? It's just crazy. So the reason why they always try to pull the reverse card on you, or, oh, you just want to be a victim, is because they don't want you to talk about history. They would rather ignore the history because it's very, very uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. It brings up a painful truth about enslavement in America. It talks about, it brings up a reminder of systemic racism, delayed justice system, a system in America that they paint like it's all about freedom and equality, but it never worked for you. It just never worked for you. And it basically, and I'm gonna talk about this in the episode, but it basically threatens this foundational myth of the 4th of July. You got what I'm saying? Because independence, okay, yeah. We see you're a liar. We see you are a complete liar. And that's what you are. That's your legacy. You come from a legacy of liars, a legacy of thieves, a legacy of people that do not want others to really be liberated. You're just an evil individual. You know, you don't like black visibility, and we know it. You got what I'm saying? But the people labeled black, they struggling. So when you're struggling, guess what? You okay with the day off. They just want that day off. You know what I'm saying? They not trying to honor freedom. They not thinking about emancipation. They not even looking at the history of that. No. They don't care about that. That's just how it is, man. But hey, man, I'm ready anytime you ready, man.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Here's something I want you to think about. If America is a house built on freedom, then Juneteenth is the room that it tries to keep locked. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about Juneteenth in this episode and why it's not just a holiday, but it's a mirror, because that's really what it is. It's a mirror reflecting the truth that America has long avoided. And that is that freedom, the freedom here, was just never given freely. You feel what I'm saying? Freedom wasn't given freely. It was justice delayed, denied for individuals who were labeled black. And we got to talk about that. This is the Actual Facts Podcast. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Actual Facts. First and foremost, thank you to Brother Malik for allowing me to speak on your platform. This is a brown chair conversation. So let's talk about this thing right here. I'm talking about Juneteenth now. June 19th, 1865. That's when Union troops finally reached Galveston, Texas. And when they got to Galveston, Texas, they announced that enslaved African Americans were legally free. And the message was almost 3 years after President Lincoln had signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, a lot of individuals, they think that the Emancipation Proclamation freed slaves because they think emancipation and freedom are the same. They are not. But the Emancipation Proclamation did emancipate individuals who were enslaved. So, what does all of that really mean? It means people lived, they worked, they suffered, they died in chains after they were technically emancipated. Because no one told them that they were emancipated, because the system that kept them in ignorance, Texas, they had a stronghold on enslavement. See, Texas is very, very, very big. And guess what? They had a lot of land since Texas is big. And guess what? They had to work this land. All these cash crops. If they knew, and they did know, why would they tell the individuals who didn't know? Why would they do that? Let that sink in. Freedom that existed on paper, but the paper didn't reach the plantations in Texas. That is the reason why Juneteenth matters. Some people think it's just a celebration. Look, it's not a celebration of freedom. It's a time of mourning. It's a time of understanding that emancipation or freedom was delayed. It's a confrontation with the idea that Black liberation in America has never been immediate. It's always been delayed. It's always been met with resistance. It's always resisted. It's always negotiated. And sometimes it's sabotaged. But this is what I want you to really think about. Why are people so uncomfortable with Juneteenth? I see this all the time. People are saying, oh, you want to be a victim? Oh, this is just victimhood wrapped up in a celebration. And I'm thinking to myself, wow. Juneteenth complicates the American story. You see, America is what I call the great liar. It paints a story about itself that is just not accurate. If 1776 was about freedom, then why weren't you free? Who was free? If documents say that slavery ended in 1863, then why would it take, 1865 for the people who were emancipated to even find out about it? Huh? Leave that answer in the comment section. Oh, this just being a victim. Look, if we celebrate liberty, then why do people get angry when Black people, or the people labeled Black, or the foundational Black Americans, or the American Africans, or the African Americans, whatever label you want to call yourself, why are people angry when you celebrate your freedom? Because Juneteenth doesn't fit the clean red, white, and blue narrative. It's history of a people labeled Black, but it's more than that. It's not just his story. It's a often denied, horrible, horrendous American truth. And that truth is inconvenient for a lot of individuals and becomes very controversial. You understand what I'm saying? Now, some people get massively angry about it because they feel like it's some type of intrusion in whatever they feel is their holidays. But guess what? I'm going to tell you this. You are hated in America. America hates you and America will never love you. So as long as you celebrate America's holidays, you will always be ignored. See, you don't need to celebrate and be all glorious in their American holidays. No, you need to understand the pain that was inflicted upon your people, and you never need to forget. You keep forgetting. It seems as if you have the memory of a fly. You need to understand that you are hated, and you need to let it be. You need to let it sizzle in your mind. Let it sit on your brain for a while. And a lot of people, they're angry about it being a holiday because it's kind of centered around the pain of the people who were labeled black. Yo, y'all need to just move on. Y'all need to just move on. Listen, I'm angry about this situation, but the anger is not about a holiday, but so many people are angry about the holiday itself. But realistically, they just act like they're angry about the holiday. What they're really angry about is the discomfort of reckoning. A country being forced to admit that their most sacred idea, the idea of freedom, equality, and liberty, was not distributed in an equal way. That's the reason why everybody is so angry. When you mention Juneteenth, they are very angry about it. You know, I remember when Juneteenth became recognized as a federal holiday in 2021. Oh my God, boy. Listen, instead of unity, there was so much resistance. Do you understand me? It felt like Juneteenth was some type of political agenda. It seems as if we are going to push forward into a time where the American citizens are not being educated about the enslavement in America. Because I'm noticing when I have these talks in different settings, people instantaneously say, oh, that's CRT. That's CRT. Oh, go ahead with that CRT. You can pass me with that. You can miss me with that CRT. Now, if you don't know, CRT is an acronym that stands for critical race theory. And I'm just thinking to myself, they call what actually happened in America a theory. Why? So that people eventually down the line who can't relate and don't remember and don't have family who suffered, or don't have family who didn't suffer, they won't even remember. So you can call it a theoretical situation. Talking about black freedom has suddenly become divisive. The very thing that you claim has value, which is freedom, is a controversial talking point. When it's not centered around, when it's centered around blackness. If you talking about freedom and it's centered around blackness, oh no, everybody's angry about it. It's okay though when it's centered around whiteness. The red, white, and blue, right? So ironic, man. So ironic. The iconic lie of America. But trust me when I tell you this. You are hated in America. Your black life does not matter. Your black life does not matter. It will not matter. I don't care how they sell you and they try to act like everything is okay. Things are not okay and you are not liked and you will never be liked. And you better never forget what happened to your people. Because guess what? Your children are going to forget and your children's children are going to forget if you don't tell them. America don't want you to know the truth. America lie to you every single day of your life. Juneteenth is not about looking back. It's a litmus test in America. It's a test of whether America can tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Telling the truth is very difficult for a liar. Tell the whole truth. Can you do that? It's very angering for people like me. Because it seems like you can't even celebrate a holiday labeled black without trying to whitewash it. You say that you honor freedom, but you don't honor freedom. You are a liar. That's what you are. Don't try to honor freedom without hiding the cost of freedom. Do you know what the cost of freedom? The cost of freedom is death. What don't you understand? These people hate you. The cost of freedom is death, and it's been your death for hundreds of years. And what can't you understand? Why can't you get it through your mind? You are the descendant of an individual who was stripped from his history, heritage, language, culture, traditions, language, religion, and you were enslaved. And then they tried to make your story start there. Why can't you get that? I don't understand what's in your mind. You hate it on every level. And it seems as if you never gonna do nothing about it. You're trying to accommodate everybody else while simultaneously inflicting pain upon yourself and ignoring a major lesson in life. Freedom is not free. You have to fight for it. And you gotta be willing to give your life for it. So Juneteenth makes sense to me, and a lot of people, it make a lot of people uncomfortable. I understand that. But I'm gonna ask you this. What kind of freedom are you really celebrating? Who don't have the freedom or the amenities that come with that freedom? Think about it. I'm happy that you had a seat with me. This is nothing but a brown chair conversation. I have these conversations because I have a lot on my mind. So I'm just trying to have this space dedicated for truth. Because when you have a space for truth and you can get through the emotions, you can heal with the historical clarity.